Welcome to Serial Podcast 9.
Let's do the intro. Hit it.
I'm Gerard DiPeralta.
And I'm Kevin Peterson.
And I'm Ryan Benoit. And this is Serial Podcast 9, episode 54 or 53 or 55.
Shit, man.
I can't remember.
Episode, yes.
Episode, here we go. How's everyone doing?
Doing great, man.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You guys sound very excited. It's weird not doing the podcast from Gerard's mansion, summer home mansion, but that's all right.
Yeah, it is a real step down in the world for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, guys.
Oh, you.
Oh, you guys.
Oh, you. All right. So, hey, I got questions, and if we do them fast enough, maybe I'll let you guys talk about food. Just no and just all one-word answers for the questions. All right. You guys want to get into some questions? Or do you want to say anything before we start?
I want to say...
I feel like we had like a pretty good like banter going before we started. But I don't know if that's like privy information. You know what I mean?
I was a little behind the curtain. Gerard getting rich.
Getting what?
Getting rich.
Oh, no.
Gerard's is out here fucking slanging 100s. Slang.
No.
Puts it up for 2 hours and sells it.
Wow, it's because the price was good and it was good value in that car. Like,
it's a good car. You know,
got a lot of things, and I sold it at a good price. So
good. That's how you sell a car. Be Gerard. Here we go. Number one, from Rebound Boys. He said, "Hey Ryan, got a question for the podcast. So I've got myself a 161 Aristo 2, but I'd love to know what everyone's favorite body kit is from over the years. But anyways, much love from Australia, and definitely soon to get some S9 goodies." So that's great. Going to buy some parts for the car. Strongly recommended. I have an Aristo, as he mentioned. Him and I both have the same chassis. I enjoy all the SerialNine parts on my car. That's why we do this podcast. Anyway, what is your favorite, not Aero? I love that I use the word body kits because that's what I want everyone to say. What's your favorite body kit for the Aristo? This is going to be funny because neither of you actually like the car.
I don't honestly. I do. I like the car. Like, yeah.
Oh my God! Here he comes.
I was gonna let Gerard pick because I feel like Gerard has like distinguishing taste and like.
I mean, honestly though, like even when I had that
way
car,
more shit than I would.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I know Gerard's answer.
Oh, what's my answer? What's my answer?
Yeah.
It's probably whatever you had. So like the one, the lip, the.
I think I know Gerard. I think I know Gerard.
And the BN kit. Do you like the BN kit?
I mean, I wanted the BN kit because it was kind of the craziest thing available. Like, I don't know, my style is always less is more. So like, I just rather have the car ultra low and not huge aero so that like the car itself scrapes, but like the body kit, you know, can kind of always look good. But then after that, at the end, I was like, okay, I just want like my car to actually finally look like a drift car. And I mean, BN kit is most definitely kind of like a drift kit. So that BN kit on that car is kind of like one of the only ways to make that car look like a quote unquote drift car. I don't know if I love the kit so much per se, but
what Gerard actually wanted was the 326 power kit.
Yeah, the 326 power kit's pretty wild. I mean,
which I kind of think, yeah, like that's.
But which one?
It's pretty close to like the one.
They only have the one body kit.
But they have that other like one-off one that they've done, don't they?
Which one's that?
Isn't that the LB one?
That's LB.
One? Is it?
That's like a LB combined with.
Okay.
But yeah, that kit was crazy.
That car, yeah, it doesn't really float my boat so much.
I remember when that kit came out, and you know they debuted it on the 326 car. I thought, man, this thing just looks so fucking out of this world. It's so sick, like blah blah. But it's a really crazy kit. But it's one of those things where it's like if you're 326 or maybe even SerialNine, you could probably take like literally the shittiest, ugliest car and style it, and it looks sick. But like when anybody else takes that car and like quote unquote styles it, it just generally looks like shit. Because the only 326 power kit I've ever seen look good is the 326 car. All the other cars of the 326 kit just don't look good. Mm-hmm. But one thing that 326 does so well is it's super, super low.
Yeah.
And static. But like, and the wheels like are, rim to fender. But like,
that's the craziest wheels.
You cannot drive that. Yeah. So anyways.
Well, okay. Well, that's a fun answer.
Okay. So that those are the two crazy kits, but the other one is the, what's it called now?
Black Pearl.
No, what's that kit now? The
Artisan Spirits.
Bottom part's carbon fiber. I don't know why I can't think of it right now.
The Redox? It's a Redox. Ridox?
Redox gets the worst. Hey, you guys talk and I'll find it.
Yeah, Redox.
Not it? Oh.
It's not
okay. You don't like it, hey?
Nope.
Oh, that's interesting.
What about the Vertex Ridge, bro?
They don't make a Ridge for the 161.
Oh, they don't make the Ridge for the 161.
They just make the Vertex.
They make the Vertex kit. The Vertex kit's pretty good. It's like, I would say that's like the sporty drift kit, not like the I have like super wide, way too big wheels, and my car's lowered to the point where it doesn't function anymore. Vertex is kind of like the like I'm competing drifter. You know what I mean? I want my car to look nicer than it does normally, but also I want my car to like perform better than it's supposed to normally.
What about Wald? They make a full kit.
They make a front lip that everyone likes to ask you about when you own it.
Yeah. What about JP? Like anything?
Yeah.
I assume all those companies make something.
They do.
I had Aim Gain was pretty nice. I had Aim Gain.
I was going to say that was going to be your first go.
There's obviously no like M Sports 161 kit.
I want to say it's got a fucking weird name that people pronounce wrong all the time.
Kazuma.
Altazar.
I don't know. No, well, I was looking at Kazuma's kit.
So Tianica, bro.
How do you actually say it?
I say Kazama.
Kazama. I've only ever read it. It's I don't know.
Macaroni.
Man, if you've never heard the word macaroni and cheese. Also, hang on. It's all fun and games to laugh at me, but Gerard's been calling Wakefest for years.
Whack.
Whack. And then I started
holy macrame.
Yeah.
I get it. When Gerard mispronounces something, it's fucking adorable. Oh, that guy. When Ryan does it, hilarious. Yeah, fuck Ryan.
You're the only one saying it.
Saying what?
Fuck Ryan. Okay.
You're saying it with what you're not saying. I'm reading between the lines. Okay, tell me what the kit is that you like. I didn't think
hold on. I'm getting it, man. You guys
just get it.
Dude, you know what it is, man? It's the TTE lip, bro. TTE lip is the shit for sure.
Yeah, I was going to make that joke. Everyone's favorite lip.
It's funny because I ended up running a TTE lip after I blew up the Admiration front at Final Bout. And I was like, it actually kind of looks good because I never really the Admiration front had that.
No, your other front looks better. I just never had the heart to tell you.
Well, I wasn't going to buy it. It definitely did, but I
didn't like the bump at the top. It looked like it had
that was a bit weird, but yeah.
But other than that, it looked good. This is so weird. I can't find this stupid kit.
Well, maybe it doesn't exist, and you've dreamt it up in a fever dream.
No,
you can't even remember the name. You can't remember the name of it.
It's not your favorite.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's some fucking pretentious answer. That's like when you ask someone what their favorite movie is, and you've
never heard of it.
Yeah, you've never heard.
Yo, remember this band that I saw before they were popular, but then I saw this other band before they were popular.
Yeah, get out of here with your fucking. You have 10 seconds to find this kit, Gerard, and if you don't find it, it's not your favorite. This is dumb at this point.
I just can't remember the damn brand.
Then it's not your favorite.
So there are three versions of it. There's one that doesn't have the bottom. There's one that has the bottom and it's carbon fiber.
That's for a 100, isn't it? I know what you're talking about. I know what one you're talking about, though.
Fuck, it's not.
I know exactly what one you're talking about, though.
It's like I literally am looking at every other brand, like Artisan Spirits, V-Lean, like
I still think you're thinking of the Ridox.
So
no, it's not Ridox. It's not.
Ridix.
It's not.
Ridox.
Riddick.
Chronicles of Ridox.
Yeah, Chronicles of Ridox. Yeah. Starring Max
I'm
Cerrito.
literally looking at the 3D
Riddick.
Star body
Ridox.
kit from 326, and
Yeah,
it's
we have that
it's on your wheels.
We have that 161 tuning manual.
Oh my god, it's on your wheels.
That's like the Salbex.
No. Ryan's wheels, the 19-inch
Kiwamis.
Kiwamis.
That's how you do it.
Fucking looks
That's
so
how
good.
you do it.
Looks so good.
Dude, yeah, those wheels are sick.
It looks so good. Okay, I don't know, man. I can't find this.
Yeah,
I'll find
no,
it
it's
later
not
on.
your favorite. So
what
you
do
don't
have to
like
say, Ryan?
Max. You don't like Max Cerrito's Aristo, is what you're saying.
No, I mean I like
No,
his
interesting.
Aristo because it's Arito. Arito's dope. I love Arito.
Yeah, what
It's
kid
sick.
does it have on it? Run me through.
It
Anyway,
has Ridox.
yeah, there you go. I
Ridox?
think I like Ridox.
Okay, like yeah, but like this, it also I
All right.
guarantee has one of those like light scoops. Do you like? Neither of you guys like light scoops.
No,
What's
I
a
like
light
light scoops. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
What's a
Yeah.
light scoop?
Where your light becomes like a
The only
scoop.
reason I don't like light scoops is because you can't run it on the street. I mean, I guess you could technically, but like,
Yeah,
on an Aristo you could.
yeah, absolutely, you totally
yeah.
could actually. The Aristos,
I don't mind
It's like
it.
set up for it.
honestly, yeah, that high beam, quote unquote, should be a fucking scoop. Because fuck those lights, anyways.
Well, there you go.
I feel like I'm the only one that
really
really likes this car, and it's very funny that
Well,
Like, I feel-
okay, if you get your wish right, I'll be drifting one for 2 days.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna go with. You're gonna
At
try to do
Mission.
it.
I think
Hang
so, man.
on.
It's just
Do
too
you
much
feel-
to get the G35 running. And we could just
Do
drive it to the
you-
event.
feel like that's my wish, like of all things. That
Yeah,
like,
I think you
that's
wish
what
that I
I-
could go shred the
It
Aristo.
feels like you could more easily, like the G35 does run. It's the same amount of auto as
Hang
that
on.
car. It feels like it would be easier to get that thing with angle.
I mean, it
and
doesn't
drift
run
and-
anymore. Like the transmission is half removed. The fucking torque converter and shit's out of it. Like, no.
Oh, okay.
okay,
Like,
where
you might
are
as
you
well just
going
put-
drifting, and why do I wish it was the Aristo?
Mission.
Like, and when are you
Yeah,
going?
there's a October 15th.
Also, speaking of
There's a 2-day
such
mission
drifting
event.
things, Kevin, one guy messaged me. He's like, hey, we're like 3 or 4 drivers short of like another VSL event. I was like, oh, really? He's like, you should come. I was like, maybe. It's like the middle of October. Oh, shit. I can't go. It's actually
That's
on my
when
anniversary. So I just
you can
realized
go to
that.
wine country and
When I-
drift.
Which one? The mission one or the other one?
No. The VSL,
Which is when?
October 15th.
Well, like, it's the
Wait, is my anniversary October, September? It's October. Yeah, I got
Probably
married in
figure this
October.
out.
well, yeah, October 15th is that other event too.
Yeah, that you
The
just
mission
told me
event.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah, what
we
the
were
fuck?
just
What?
talking-
I thought it was September. Oh, fuck, man.
I mean, if it was September 16th, you already missed
I'm
it,
worried that you're having a stroke right now. Like what
Oh my
the fuck?
God.
I didn't
Like,
look
did
at
you?
the dates. All I did was
You
say
look-
15th and 16th.
Yeah,
And I
did.
thought we had
I
one more
did.
month.
Yeah, but you're like, there's an event on October 15th. Oh, and this other guy messaged us and said we should go to an event on October 15th.
But I
And
can't
even
go to
I
that
was
one.
like, what the fuck is this guy talking about right now? Jesus.
Shit.
Fucking making up body kits for the Aristo and then just
Legit,
not
I can't
understanding
find
how.
it. I legit. can't find it.
It doesn't exist. A calendar.
I'm
years
gonna find
don't-
it because I know they make it for the Y34, and it's
That's what I'm saying. They don't make it for the Aristo, and I know what one you're talking about.
they 100%.
There's like
do.
3 different options for the lower lip that go on, right?
What is it called? Yeah,
It's
And
not like Final
100%
Connection. It's
Okay.
not Works 9. It's
So,
not M Sports.
100% because the car that I saved back in the day, why I love Aristos so much when I did, was it was a tan colored
What I
Aristo. Yeah,
Yeah.
tan colored Aristo, super dumped static on that arrow. And why the fuck can't I find
Yo,
it?
whatever happened to Baby Bear Gangster?
I don't know what that means.
It's a
Thailand crew.
Yeah, it was a Thailand crew that like used to make like crazy.
So like,
VIP
like
cars.
everything you can imagine, they were just like, "Yo, let's take this car and like make it crazy."
Oh.
Yo, seriously, what is this company? Oh, Mode Parfum. There you go. Mode Parfum. Blow design, Mode Parfum. That's what it was. Jesus Christ. Why couldn't I think of that?
There's that Aristo that always gets sold in the Lower Mainland that has Mode Parfum stuff on it, isn't there?
Yeah, I know. You should buy it.
Why?
Oh, is that the one that Josh had?
It's called Mode Parfum Gamu Regalia. That's the one.
It's not Phantom Gamu Regalia.
No, the Phantom one.
How do you even spell that? What did you say? Wagyu? Gagu?
Gamu. Gamu. It's the Gamu.
All right. Yeah, that's all right, I guess.
It's cool, maybe. It's the proper
it's
term.
Cool, maybe. It's cool, maybe. My answer is there's actually like a ton of body kits that I like for this car.
Okay. Sorry, one last thing. Speaking of which, the Mode Parfum kit for the 18 Crown is sick. Okay, go on.
I think it's just easier to say like which ones I don't like. And it's not even that I don't like them.
I feel like that's what we've been doing the whole time.
Yeah. But I like the Supermade kit. I think there is a place for that.
Really? Dude,
I don't mind it.
Worst kit.
I think I don't like the BN kit, as if I'm being very honest with you. Not my favorite.
You're being honest?
Yeah. And then when you were like, that's the drift kit, I was like, no, that's dumb. Because your car was a drift car, not on that kit. And I don't know.
That's just the whole thing. Okay, so that's another one of those like
I don't really care for the one Supermade myself.
Yeah,
that's fine.
It's busted.
Okay, relax.
I can't like
fucking go have another stroke. Why don't you?
The rear bumper's okay. I
can't believe that event's on my anniversary. God damn it!
What is happening with you, Gerard? We're trying to talk about Aristos.
Okay,
we're talking about everything that has to do with life and drifting.
Yeah,
and everything.
I think like mostly there's kits that I don't like, but I think that like the one that was on Super Street, the white one, I liked that one. I like I'm going to say it wrong again because now I'm super like paranoid. Kazuma?
Kazuma.
Did I say it right?
It's the Kazuma on the Aristo.
Say it properly so then I can say it.
I don't know.
Fastest on
I'm
the
sure it's a
Kazama,
Kazuma. It's all same shit.
Kazama.
Yeah.
I like that kit.
Isn't that Kazma?
You rock the Kazma.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. But I think my favorite is the walled front lip that I have. There you go.
I mean, your car does look good. I've always liked your kit. Like your kit was more aggressive than my kit, and I wanted to be you. But fuck you, because you had it and I didn't have it, and I didn't want to spend any money. I got all my shit cheap, and then I just made my car into a quote unquote drift car with the garbage body kit that I had. So,
and your fucking wide body.
Yeah, it really didn't have anything to do with the like giant ass wheels or the one-off, knuckles, or the fact that you did drift the car that made it a drift car. But totally that stupid little lip you threw on made it a drift car.
Yeah, that was the one.
No, I just meant like I never thought my car. I mean, I was going to say that's kind of a SerialNine thing. Is you take a car that is not supposed to do a thing, you make a thing, and then it does it, and then it's like you take this like car that doesn't look like a drift car, and then you drift it. So it's like kind of cool. But at the same time, man, if that car had BN, it would have been immensely more popular. Immensely more popular.
I feel like I'm going to be a real Gerard about that and say BN sometimes feels a little too cookie cutter.
It is, that was the thing, man. It's like
your car was super unique, like it
was
your wide body kit on it. It had all these things. Like I have that photo of your car where it looks like your side skirt is on the ground and it's like sliding. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, that's fucking sick.
And those side skirts are very small. They're basically like 10 or 15 mil larger than stock, or like lower than stock.
Yeah.
They're basically the exact same height as the bottom of the car, which is what I wanted. I like that. And I wanted the car to be as low as physically possible. So when you scrape those skirts, it's a lot different than scraping BN. The BN was literally like almost an inch and a half lower. There's no possible way I could have driven it.
Yeah, you were saying when we made the video about my car, you're like, I wouldn't have been able to actually drive that car.
Yeah, it looked cool, but like I would have had to raise it like an inch and a half or an inch at least. Like Eric, the body kit, not the car.
Yeah. Eric had a Tom's Aristo as well, right?
Yeah, the VA.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's
anyway,
cool. That
cool,
kit is cool when the car is super dumped because But yeah, I mean that's the thing is Toyota, I guess back then didn't really know how to do aero kits because once they hit like the 2000s,
like a terrible grill.
Yeah, once they hit the 2000s, they got it right. Like the Blit body kit is fully the sickest, but also the 100 stock aero is super sick. Like the Series 2 is fully sick.
All right, I want to go back to this. You're like, my wish is going to come true. Like, I want to watch you drift a busted Aristo around a track.
Not busted.
It's not the Blit, and it's not your old.
It's busted.
I would rather watch you drift the Blit around a track and get more content of the Blit going.
I mean, I would like to drift the Blit around that track too. It's just, it's a BC. What is it? A BC drift?
Now we've come to realize it's Gerard's anniversary, and he's not drifting anything around the track.
Well, the fact of the matter is, my wife actually loves drifting, so there might be a small chance that she would be okay to go do some sort of drifting on one of those 2 days in the Blit.
Yeah, and not the busted ass Aristo.
Yeah, definitely not.
So what's the other question?
That was it. That was meant to be a fast one, and it went for a very long time. Okay, we got another question from our boy Flockadile Dundee.
Sick.
Yeah, that name is great. All right, I have a question for the podcast. With the prices of the typical chassis we see drifting skyrocketing, people really seem to be jumping onto whatever new chassis we could get with a manual, like a Z33, Z34s, G37s, IS300s, FRS, and stuff like that. Yeah. Since newer choices with factory manuals are less common, do you think we'll see more people developing manual swaps for more modern chassis, like the 3rd and 4th Gen GS, the Mark X, the Nissan Fuga / Infiniti M35, etc.? Or do you think we'll see people starting to drift automatics? I follow a couple dudes from Japan that drift ISFs and another that drifts an E63 wagon. I can't imagine it's super easy swapping a newer chassis with how integrated everything is. And then it says the least fun option would be we just all switch to the endless supply of straight piped BMWs.
It's a very, very good point. I do feel like the manual kits for the newer cars is going to be a thing. I mean, I think if you could put a CD box on a 2GR, that would be great. It would also be great if Toyota didn't fucking make their cars unbelievably difficult to tune. Because it's like you buy an IS350, which is, I think they're pretty fucking cheap now. An IS350, or if you're in Canada, you buy a Mark X or a Crown, and it's got a 2GR, an amazing motor, but then you can't do anything with it. Even if you put a 6-speed behind it, it's just going to be a 2GR. Or you go and buy a G35 or G37, either with a 6-speed or you put a 6-speed on it, and then you tune it, and you can make like 30 to 50 more horsepower, or turbo it and tune it, whatever you want to do. And it's like, you're going to buy a car that has a stock engine and can't really do anything with the stock engine, even though it's a good stock engine, or you're going to buy a car that has like a stock engine that you can like modify.
I would just do the next generation GS because that's the one that I like.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would ever do that.
I do follow a couple guys in Japan that drift those cars because you can just buy the 6-speed off the 250 and put it on the 350 and it works. I mean, I don't know how much power it can handle and stuff, but you could just straight up bolt that on. And as far as the integration, I'm sure like just from auto to manual, it's probably not the most difficult. However, yeah, I mean, I follow a couple of dudes in Japan that drift ISFs as well, but you got to remember that's a fucking 5-liter V8. So like torque is now, and like you drifting an automatic is probably no big deal.
Right.
And it also has fucking 7 or 8 gears. So like it's always in some sort of correct gear. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you think the future's automatic?
No, absolutely not.
There's a possibility. You think people will swap the next generation? You think that's going to happen?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone would want that. You know, that's why wouldn't you want that? Like that's the thing. It's like I want the 18 Crown, but I don't want the V6 with the auto.
Oh, you're talking about swap the engines. No.
He was just talking about swapping the transmission. But I'm just like, my plan was never to keep that motor or transmission in that car. You know, there's always that option, but
yeah, I would have a 3GS with a manual transmission. I think that would be really cool for me. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Like someone rear-ended the Aristo, and you got to keep the motor and all your shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it would go right into a 3G. Gerard would put it right into a 3GS.
Just slap it right in there.
Gerard would slap it right in.
That's the thing is, man, like we were literally just talking about this, and it's like there's like a crossover point of like the cars being sick and then the cars being less sick because they have so much integration. Exactly what he's talking about. It's like,
yeah,
like I like the Mark X. I like the Crown, like the 18 Crown. I like, you know, whatever, we can get the 20 Crown pretty soon and all these cars, but it's like they're so integrated in the like HVAC and the navigation and the functions and the this and the that. It's like even just to put a goddamn stereo in the thing, you're buying like a $400 module that maybe exists, maybe doesn't exist, or
like $700.
Yeah. And then could you imagine trying to do a fucking engine swap and retain any semblance of like a normal functioning car? Like, yeah, it's not going to happen.
Dude, I can't even find a steering wheel hub.
Yeah, like nobody's going to spend basically eternity trying to figure out the fucking wiring. I mean, it'd have to be in Russia. Like, if anywhere is going to do it, it's Russia and Thailand. Those guys would probably have like perfectly running 18 Crowns with fucking 700 horsepower 2JZ stuff. And you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it has, you know, all the AC, Navi works, literally everything, because, you know, all those engineers just sit there and like fucking do that. But like, I'm certainly not doing that. And I couldn't tell you a single person in my friend group that would even be able to do that.
But you could just take a manual transmission and hook it up. Is that the thought? Like, if I came to you and I was like, I'll just run the V6 with a manual transmission, is that a doable thing?
I would think so, but you would still need some sort of thing for the ECU. I mean, maybe the emulator just works on that car too. Who knows? But like, there's going to be something that the computer or whatever is going to want to see. I mean, if it was as simple as taking an IS-250 computer and putting it in the IS-350 or 3GS, and then like, you know, putting an AFC on it to add the correct fuel for the 2GR instead of the 3GR, then maybe, but like, there's no way it's going to be that simple. You know what I mean?
Whew. So then what's the solution?
Buy older cars.
Straight pipe BMWs.
I don't want that.
No, I know.
But see, the solution is
just don't put a straight pipe.
The solution is literally in front of you. You buy a 6-speed car that's tunable. So that's going to be a BMW or a Nissan. Yeah. Or an Infinity or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. That's literally the only.
And isn't that the other thing on like the whatever Q50, like can you put the CD on that chip?
Yes, you could put the Q. You could have
in that he said that in the question too. Like, did he not?
Is it what did he say in the question? Or was
I thought he mentioned one of those chassis about
yeah because it's like they're saying so the VR30 that's in the new Z already existed in all these cars prior. And I mean, I was literally at Mission last weekend and there was a Q50 that was running 10s. So like, that's a fucking lot of power to put a 4,000 pound car into the 10s at like 127 miles an hour or something. And so that's basically like a stock engine with, I think they're good for like maybe 600 horsepower with a few mods. And then you just put a CD box on that. So then you have either a coupe or a sedan 6-speed twin turbo V6 that's already made by Nissan.
Yeah, but then I have to drive a Nissan, and I don't know if I want to do that anymore. I mean, like, I feel like I've grown up a lot.
I mean, have you been in a Q50, or have you been?
Drive your Prius.
Yeah, I'm just driving my Prius around, and occasionally drive June to school in the Aristo.
There you go.
Play that. Anyway, that's
also. What's the point of having an Aristo if you can't drive your daughter to school?
Yeah, exactly. That's the move.
There was a BMW at school today that was on TE37s, which I thought was kind of neat. So I will say this: I don't like watching BMWs drift.
That's because all the BMWs you see drift look like absolute shit. Like, there are some fucking sick BMWs.
They just don't do anything for me.
I mean, I don't see how like a fucking 20-year-old Toyota can do something for you and no BMW.
I don't know. I went.
Gotta agree with Gerard on that one.
What do you mean?
There's some pretty.
You just like what you like. It's fine.
I mean,
yeah, but I mean that's like being.
I feel like you're being discriminative.
Yeah,
discriminatory.
Exactly. I was about to say it's like being like, oh, I don't like brunettes. It's just like I don't really like brunettes.
Oh yeah, people fully do that.
Yeah, I don't think you can cut off that
look, much. Unless the BMW has a really great personality, I don't care. Gonna make me laugh. I've never seen one at a track where I've been like, oh, I got to get photos of that. Nah, anyway. And that is the lens that I see the world through. All right. Do you want to do another question, or you want to talk more about manual swapping cars that don't have manuals?
Why don't we do that? We should buy.
What about an auto swap?
We should buy a 3GR Crown.
Oh, damn it.
I mean, you could buy a GS2.
Yeah. I have one, but whatever.
You don't. You have a 3GR.
Yeah, you don't think it's the same transmission?
No, but I'm just saying, like, you can't. I mean, I just mean, like, just put it together and try to drive it like that. Just fucking drive the 2GR, or maybe get that supercharger or something. But you have a 3GR, don't you? Yours is a 2.5.
Yes, correct.
Peasant motor has like what 180 horsepower or some shit, 200.
Yeah, I think.
Right, so like it wouldn't be really worth it to do all that work.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, I understand. I thought you meant like make a fucking thing, make a kit.
No. I just mean like just buy one that's already has the good motor and do that swap that we keep talking about, and then just see if that's decent or not. Maybe we could get people to drift IS 350s and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's
or
what I'm for. That's all I want to see, you guys. Make that happen. Take my money that I don't have. And
I mean, realistically, you could buy a 3GS with the 3UZ.
Yeah.
Is there 3UZ?
I don't think you can, no.
Is 2UZ?
I don't think there's any UZ in that thing. I think it's the G series in that car.
Well, that's fine.
No. There's a hybrid V8 one.
You can't.
There's a GS430 and there's a GS450H.
Yeah, you can't do the 450H. There's no way that.
No. I just meant I think they make a GS430 as well.
Yeah, they do.
So then, can you just put the 6-speed CD box on that fucking thing?
Are you asking me or Kevin? Because like,
best in the world
is just I'm putting it out there. Oh,
could
there you go?
So you can buy a V8 GS430 and put a 6-speed on it,
and then you'd have a 6-speed V8 430 3GS.
Like, honestly, that's kind of what I would want. I don't know if I'd be like, I don't know if I need, like, anyway.
Maybe I'm just stuck in the past, but my plan was always just like, buy the most peasant one, rip that shit out, put a JZ in there.
But that's what I mean. It's like, why wouldn't you just take the car and use the car?
That's what I said. Maybe I'm stuck in the past because I want a JZ.
No, so that is what if anything ever happened to the Aristo in total, that would be like, probably would be my move would either be to get what we just talked about, like try to make that work. If you thought it was possible, I would back it. If I didn't have the Aristo, I'd be like, that's what we're doing. Or do the GS 430 then. Now that you've said that it's completely doable, I would be like,
well, see, that's the thing is because like, you can have the GR 2GR with the 6-speed, which is kind of cool because it's stock and stuff. I think that makes 300 horsepower.
Yeah.
But I think that, I mean, a V8 fucking sounds cooler. And if it's only your sidecar anyways, why wouldn't you want a V8?
Yeah.
And then you're going to put a 6-speed on it. And it's kind of sick to have a V8 6-speed. That's basically like an M5, but like Toyota. You know what I mean?
It says it makes 300 horsepower. Is that right?
Yeah, the 2GR's 300. They're a great motor, man. They're like a really good motor, but like, unfortunately, they're chained to like these shitty cars.
Right. I don't think they're shitty cars. I just don't like the transmit. Like, I would want the manual, which again is that I think is old ways. So like I we've talked about this before, and I keep seeing people make fun of car owners, like enthusiasts that like prefer manuals now. Like times have shifted so much that the people that don't know how to drive manuals make fun of people that know how to drive manuals. It's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening?
Well, it's funny because like, like there's the DSG snobs and stuff too. It's like, oh, like why would you want a manual when it's like way slower? And it's like, well, because I like to fucking do shit in my car. Like,
yeah.
Well, I think those crowns are great.
Cool opinion, boomer.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, that's insightful and kind of neat. So you actually think you could take like the IS 350 and just put the IS 250 transmission?
Oh, 100%. Like, yeah, there's a couple of guys in Japan that actually legit just drift that car.
And also, it's Jeff Lang, like OEM Jeff, like fully did it in Calgary. Every single thing, like to OEM spec.
OEM Jeff, I have no idea who that is.
He's from Dorikaze. He has like
yeah, buddy, that thing is fucking tight.
He has like a fully restored
yeah. And I mean, honestly,
86 to like everything OEM.
Between the 3GS and the Crown, I still definitely think the 3GS like looks better. It's like a weird shape. It's kind of more like it just looks so goddamn heavy though.
Look at Kevin sending me this. It's even on work wheels, eh? How about that?
The other thing though about the interior is I think the interior looks better, but also there's a small chance that you could actually get the shit to like be cool because it has a US counterpart.
Right.
You know how cheap these cars are? The 3GSs?
How cheap?
Like fucking cheap.
I think you should buy one and make it manual.
I mean, that's not I should do that as like I keep saying I should use as a daily. It's like a fucking 8.
No, that's a dumb idea as a daily. But I will say
a great idea as a daily.
Why? That's sick. I need a normal car. I need a normal car to like drive my family and kids and shit in.
Isn't that what the Q is for?
Yeah, but it's so fucking expensive. And
just fix it right now. Yeah,
but I mean, it still costs $800,000 to drive, and it's honestly driving that thing. Like I love it, but like you do feel like a bit of a fucking asshole, like because it's sitting in traffic. Well, no, because it's big, it's luxurious, it's like seat 8, it's like got off-road tires. It's like you're basically like an upscale douchebag. Like it might as well be a Dodge Ram, but like you know,
isn't that everything you always wanted?
Yeah, that I
it is, man. Like,
yeah,
I'm not made of fucking money. Like, I don't know.
I know. I mean, I get it.
I get that driving it is expensive. Like I've said it before. You let me drive it, and I'm like, yeah, this is great. But holy fuck, is this thing expensive to drive? Like,
yeah,
it's big and expensive to drive. I think you should. Here's the thing. People really love Gerard for being the aristo guy. And I made this argument. What are you doing? What's happening, Gerard? You're not even...
I think I'm just saying something. It's fucking so sick.
People like Gerard for being the aristo guy. I think it would be cool for Gerard to have the next gen like GS.
The next aristo guy?
Yeah. I mean, that was my plan at one point, but then I was like, man, fuck these cars. Too complicated, too heavy. Like, I want to get out of these cars. But as a street car, that thing's sick. That's also a V8. That's a 430, that one is.
Yeah.
Imagine that car with a 6-speed. Oh, buddy.
all of these are great. I don't know why we're not doing this today. Anyway.
Like, look at that door panel. It's so sick.
I feel like this is a ticket.
And it's not even that expensive.
Yeah, I don't know why.
12 grand. That thing is.
If you, I don't know. I've already had a beer and a half.
Listen to me. I'll tell you this right now, though. If I bought this car, it would stay like that. I'm not fucking manual swapping that thing at all. I'm just going to drive it.
I just want to see you drift it. That would be the ticket.
I'll just drift it automatic. I don't give a fuck.
No,
there you go. And we've come full circle. We've come to the conclusion. The next gen car, you just drift it automatic.
Well, I mean, if it has enough jam, then it could.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right?
How much is that LS?
11.6.
Could you 6-speed the LS?
Yeah, of course. I don't know. That might be a different pattern on the engine. Yeah, I mean, that's cheap for what that is. I don't like the car, but like that's a lot of car for.
That's a lot of car for that. Yeah,
that car is probably 120K.
And dude, like that car's crazy looking car. Like if you saw that car in the street, you'd be like, "Yo, what the hell?" Like,
it'd be funny if we just bought all these cars and just
that's what I'm saying. You know,
like sold them. Man, this thing has those Grand Seekers on that GS too.
I know, dude.
Always love those.
I know
wheels.
that car's got a lot of KM though, but like.
Man, it is a little bit tempting to get one of those and just put a 6-speed in it.
Right?
So I'm being very honest.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Like it'd just be so refined. Like that is like obviously like that car is super nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so I did fenders on a.
We should just make Ryan like drink a couple more beer and we could probably like get him to like click buy now.
Click buy.
So I did fenders on it might have been this car. So like I get in the car and his seatbelts clicked like on the seat. And I'm like, oh,
so you just sit on it? Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like, why is your seatbelt? He's like, oh, I don't wear it. I'm like,
I don't like that. That's
what the fuck do you mean you don't wear it? He's like, oh, it's just like uncomfortable and shit, so I don't wear it. And I was like, oh, but I guess it's clicked in so that the fucking chime.
They sell a thing for that.
It's from Alberta. I forgot about this. But anyways, I think it was one of these cars. Anyways, I hopped in and I was like, yo, like this thing's fucking nice, man. Like this is like a really nice car. And it was just super quiet and all the buttons were crazy. And it had like this like panel that opened under the dash or like on the right side of the column. And it had all these buttons, dude. Like there's so many buttons. And it was like controlled fucking everything. It was like kind of cool because it was like this, like, this is the like missile fucking like control, like launch control thing. But yeah, it like popped out and it was just.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hilarious to buy a car right now too, like on the podcast, and we just be like, "Yo, I just bought this car right now."
White one right now.
Yeah, I know, right? It's so sick.
It's got a sunroof. Fuck
the 11.6.
Why do you want the
white car doesn't have a sunroof? You're talking about that
one?
One. Yeah.
I don't care. I just want anyone that can be 6-speed.
Yeah, this one's the white one's a 430 as well.
Yeah, it's a 430. Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm shouting about. You're like, why do you want the white one? I'm like, I don't know, because I know this guy that only drives white cars, and I think it's kind of fun.
One's so sick. Though.
I'll tell you one right now. I'll send you one right now that you're probably going to be like, I could buy that for this much or this little.
Why do I sound like that when you do impersonation?
Because you're going to be like, what?
Like I'm a fucking Warner Brothers cartoon.
Yeah, dude, this car is so cheap.
You're fucking Yakka. You're Yakka.
Sorry, I sent you the same one again. Hold on, that's not what I wanted to say. Fuck, where did it go?
Oh, look at this thing.
Which cartoon is Gerard?
Oh, I don't know.
The old dude having a stroke.
Yeah.
Why does it keep sending that one? It's not
send the right one.
Fucking copy, you bitch.
Gerard does computers.
Fucking Kevin, get an LS and put a 6-speed in it.
Right? I know.
What are we doing with our lives right now?
Hey,
right?
You know what's funny that I did?
Dude, I haven't bought I've made it so far, dude. It's almost the 10th month. Haven't bought a single car the entire year. You guys are being really bad influences.
Oh man,
Mostly
I don't
Ryan.
have any money, but like I'm
What's
just really
happening
into
here?
this. Fuck Gerard, figure out how to use a computer, old man.
Okay, there you go. So, anyways, you see that car? Yeah, that car is so cheap, dude. That car landed. It's a 2GR car, so that's 3.5 liter, 300 horsepower.
Yeah,
That car landed is like 5K Canadian, less than.
yeah, that's cool. But can we manual swap?
Yeah, you just get the 6-speed and put it on.
Okay,
Hopefully.
on that one.
Yeah,
I thought you
on
said
that
it was
one.
the hood.
No, because it's a 2GR car, and then you just buy the 6-speed out of an IS250.
Oh, I see.
Bolt it on.
There's
All
no
the clutch
room there,
pedal,
buddy.
everything.
But you
Oh,
kind of sold me on the V8 now for some reason.
Slap
I
her
want
in.
the worst. I want the worst fuel economy possible.
I feel like the V. Oh man, one thing about those cars though, the gauges are fucking laughable. Those stupid like brushed watch face gauge. Like, what is with GSs and like the worst gauge clusters? So fucking.
I don't.
stupid.
You're fucking. I don't know what you're talking about.
Look at the gauge.
You get
cluster.
a V8. You get a V8 with fucking work wheels. I'm back on that one.
Nice.
All right.
Okay. Anyways,
This is not what we're here for, but I love it. That's what I'm here for. I don't know if we can use any of us shopping for cars.
why not?
We can try.
Of course,
We
you
can try. Yeah. All right.
Okay,
I'll
so
cut
first
around
of
it.
all, I gotta say, so every base model GS is a 2GR car. So there you go. There's no 2.5s.
Right. So the 2GR is the 300 horsepower engine that comes in the IS.
Correct.
50?
Yeah.
Right. And then
And
Kevin has the in the crown. you have
3GR.
The 3GR, which is confusing to me that the engine
I
with
know.
a higher
Yeah.
number is worse. That's what confuses me.
Right? Isn't
Man.
that weird? Because it's opposite of 1J and 2J. So dumb.
We could just be out here living like fucking on the planet Mars while everyone. Anyway, doesn't matter. We could be living in the future while everyone else is just trying to build chasers and shit. Anyway,
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
But
Doesn't
then
matter.
But then you're SerialNine and nobody can understand what the fuck's going on.
Yeah,
They're
they're
like,
I think-
yo,
what are
like
these
6-speed
idiots doing?
chaser. Yo, you have a CD transmission on a JZ? Like, oh wow, fucking cool. And you're like, yeah, well, we'll get a DCT on a V8 GS 430. Like, yeah. Like,
I think as soon as someone saw you drift it, they would be like, "Oh, fucking sick."
I get it.
Because all those
Yeah.
dudes that have 2 GSs are waiting for someone to do like
you mean all
that.
fucking 5 of you?
yeah, you're right. That's the whole market of 2 GSs. But I've seen people, even like Final Bout people, be like in the Final Bout circles, get like fucking amped on 3 GSs drifting
Really?
because you don't
Oh.
see it.
Oh,
And honestly, Gerard, before you started drifting yours,
yeah.
how many? I could only think of like there was like 3 driftable GSs in North America.
Yeah.
Anyway. It was you, Chob, that purple one. Those are the ones that I like knew of.
Oh, the purple one is Adam.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now everybody's all about it. Anyway, you want to do another question, or you guys
Yeah,
want
let's
to
do
just
the question.
keep shopping?
Nah, let's question it up.
Question me up.
Stop
Man.
shopping.
This has the CVXs, the work CVXs. I love those wheels.
Fucking
And they're
Gerard.
fucking red.
Yeah, I mean,
so
Gerard's
fun.
never going to stop. Gerard was doing it the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been
no,
doing this
I
since
know.
like. Anyways, go on.
I've been
Alright,
doing
man.
this since I was fucking born, bud.
Born,
Like, no,
yeah.
people
That's
weren't
what I
even,
was gonna say.
people weren't even looking at cars, and I was looking at cars. I invented a car, and then I looked at it first.
All right. All right. This is a good one because it even has a correction in it.
Ooh.
It's a Gerard correction of all.
Oh, shit,
these.
sweet. What is it? I said
Our
something
friend Cole Chalmers, aka
Nice.
This Life in Transit,
Yeah.
aka recent guest on Silmania. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, he
wrong.
was.
So Lady Mania, isn't it?
Still
I think it's
Lady
just
Mania.
I thought it was just called Silmania, but my bad.
Anyways.
Creator of the Bring Back Pop-Up t-shirt. Pop-Up.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Wrote a question. And
Oh.
a very good question. Are you ready? Are we done shopping
I'm ready.
For
Peppermint
third
ready.
gen. Yeah, here we go. All right.
Ready.
He said, hey, I got a question or two for the pod for you guys.
Okay.
That is kind of timely. First off, it was great to see y'all this past weekend.
Yes.
Just so people know, that was like 2 weekends ago. Not this weekend, but the weekend before when we were on the island at Gerard's mansion. Okay. I've missed everyone back in BC so much. I couldn't have asked for a better send-off to Western. Question 1. If you could bring back or build a replica of any track, what would it be? And he said, personally, I would choose, I'm going to mispronounce it because, as we know, I don't know how to fucking say things out loud. Sika Hills? Sika Hills. Okay. So that's question. Do you want to do question 1 and then we'll do question 2? Or do you want me to tell you what the correction was and then we can go on with it? I'll tell you the correction. I'll tell them to do the correction at the end. I'll leave Gerard hanging. Okay. What racetrack would you bring back or build a replica of? I think bring back is like kind of a better question. Like if you had a Gerard, why can't I hear you?
Yeah, I think Gerard's on mute.
I got muted up. I'm going to have to go with bring back because I haven't been to enough tracks outside of here to like really be like, oh, that would be the shit. I mean, obviously, if I could recreate Ibizu in fucking BC, I would just do that. That'd be sick because it has so many tracks and so many, you know what I mean?
Right. Bang for your buck.
But
I think bring back is better.
I'm going to say PGP. It's a bit of a slow track though, but it was really fucking fun.
Yeah. PGP was so sick.
Yeah.
Honestly, like right beside PGP is Pacific Spirit or what? Sorry,
isn't that still there though?
I believe it's still there, but I mean, I don't know how often. Like even back in the day, they were doing like one drink event a year, sort of thing. So like, Pacific Speedway, I believe is what it's called. But yeah, the road course there. That was like I could not like that'd be super fun to drive again. I never got to drive Park, so I was like, bring back Park.
Okay, I'm gonna probably say
Park.
Bring back Park. Yeah, I'm gonna probably say bring back Park because PGP was good, but it was not as like picturesque as Park, and also Park had a bit of like elevation change and stuff, and also
Park's like a bit bigger, I think.
Yeah, and I also never drove Park, so fuck that.
It's not fuck that. It's fuck. Beep. Who the fuck is that guy? Anyway, see, I beeped myself. Now I don't have to edit it. I don't drive, but I would also choose. I've never been to PGP. How far is PGP from here?
It's door to door at all.
It's not super far.
2 hours, maybe.
It's in Kent.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be nice for like the convenience of it, like to go drift there.
It's also cool because you can see the entire track, like from the
pits. Yeah.
Yeah, from the stands.
There's also like a hill that you could sit on, a grassy hill and see everything.
That is cool. But Park, I feel like I like Portland and it's near Portland. And Final Bout would run events there if they could, it feels like. It's cool to some of my favorite drift photos I've taken were at that track. Mm-hmm. It is very nice. I would bring back Park. I don't necessarily care about the track. I don't dislike it as much as you guys do, but I do miss Penticton, like just event wise.
No, totally.
Miss Penticton. But that's the experience of Penticton. I don't know like shit.
I mean, I feel like if Penticton was still around, we would have had like a big event in Penticton this year.
I kind of figured you guys would first go to PGP because that's feels like kind of where you made your bones. Is that fair to say? Is that where like Serial?
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, so I was like, that makes sense. They'll pick PGP, but then we'll all like the idea of Park because it's beautiful. Yeah. And then that's that. Okay, so I think that's good. If you could recreate anyone, if you could replicate, obviously it's a track from Japan. I think that is pretty much what anybody would say. It's like if you could have any drift track, what would you take? And be the most iconic drift tracks in the world.
I don't know. I don't know enough about them, but
you already said it.
Just pick Ebisu, yeah.
Yeah, Ebisu.
And then you get like fucking 8 of the best drift tracks in the world in one go.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Now,
and Ebisu looks cool too because like there's like the high speed. Not the north, like the north course is kind of like whatever the sick one, but then there's that other track where with the jump and stuff.
Yeah, but they got rid of that, right?
Yeah, but the whole other section besides the jump is also super fast.
I think they just put a thing in the way that you're supposed to go around, but you can kind of like straight line it.
It's gravel now.
Oh, what? It's fully gone? They put like the rally course there or whatever.
Yeah. As far as I know.
It's funny, but I just sent you guys something on Facebook, and actually, this car is really sick.
Gerard, we're trying to do I wish people knew how infuriating it was to have a conversation with Gerard.
Well, I mean, they're listening to it, so.
I know, but I always edit it out to make it be less infuriating. Hey, so Cole's answer, where is that track?
Sekia Hills? It's in Japan.
Oh.
Or was. It was in Japan.
All right.
It is a permanently closed racetrack.
Oh, that's a really good answer, Cole. Maybe Cole should have a podcast because I don't fucking know what that place is. Anyway, doesn't matter. Question 2.
Well, maybe that's why he was on that podcast,
Because he's better than us. No, I don't know. Anyway, question 2. What do you think about the future of a new track on the island?
I heard about that. There was some fucking
Gerard, let me finish the goddamn question.
Sorry.
Yeah. Look at this car, though. Look at this car, though.
Fucking
the one you just said.
Listen, God damn it. All right.
Okay, go.
I'm trying. Okay. As optimistic as I want to be about it, knowing the trends of automobiles, racing, and drifting in particular, I have a hard time imagining what will happen there. And top that off with history of trying to open new tracks after a closure. Look at Hawaii. Still waiting. Love you guys. Cheers from Massachusetts.
I know.
Not Idaho.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
It's massive two shits is what it's called.
Well, you said he was from Idaho.
No, I didn't. Kevin did.
I figured Boston, but anyway.
Boston.
Isn't Boston in Massachusetts?
It is.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's how I feel like that's the thing that Kevin would know and then Gerard would just make up. That's how I felt about it.
Yeah, no, but I think I did say Idaho or some shit.
Okay. All right.
Kevin probably said Idaho.
Gerard, you didn't? Oh, then that was my fault. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Gerard is the hoe.
I'm going to go back and listen to find out who said it. Not right now. I'm not going to be a Gerard about it because we're doing a podcast.
I'm still doing the podcast.
All right. What do you think? And I will say this. We're going to make a video. But I talked to a few people and I thought it was really nice. A lot of people were very optimistic about the future of drifting on the island and had plans. And it's kind of like not going down without a fight. We'll be back. And then other people had a very bit of they kind of had that sense of, I don't actually know what we're going to do. And I think this is a really great conversation. So what do you actually think will happen? Do you feel like, I know we're not super connected to island drifting, but what are the chances? Like historically speaking, doesn't look great. So what do you think?
I don't know, man. That's the thing is like there are tracks on the island. Well, actually, is it that other one's not on the island, Area 27. So there are racetracks that are, let's call them exclusive racetracks, because they have like what is that? Not really an entry fee, but
it's a country club.
Yeah, it's a country club.
It's fully a membership fee, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a membership fee. Yeah.
It's like but the membership a year.
Exactly. The membership fee is like ludicrously expensive. So they basically trying to weed out anyone that isn't like rich AF.
Yeah.
So drifting is obviously going to be like off the table for any sort of track like that. I mean, yeah, it's like kind of a double-edged sword. It's like the only people with enough money and with enough sort of like gusto to make a track are probably rich dudes that don't really need a track. You know what I mean?
And also that don't drift. They just want to.
Yeah, they don't drift. And then all the kids that want to drift and all that, like, I mean, they can't figure out fucking zip ties, let alone how to fucking build a racetrack or like get a racetrack built, or you know what I mean? So
I don't even, I think drifting has always, it feels like, and maybe I'm wrong, gotten by on like the scraps or leftovers of like whatever is left, like whatever.
It feels like honestly, like if you're truly into drifting, you don't have any money, You don't have any money because you're just a drift skid.
Yeah,
you're drift 10 types of guys, and you're a drift skid, and you spend all your money on drifting, and
yeah, but like the life cycle of getting of drifters getting access to a track usually goes like this. Track agrees to let drifters drift at track. Track loves it because they bring in a bit of a crowd. It's a breath of fresh air to the auto racing scene, until they realize that drifters like to dirt drop. And then they're like, holy shit, I got to pay for upkeep of this track now that like these guys are in here going sideways. So then the track kind of gets their back up a bit, puts in regulations or new rules, or just cancels it altogether. If you get through that, if you beat level 2 of like coming to an actual agreement with the track, level 3, your final boss is the people that have moved next to the racetrack that no longer want the racetrack.
Exactly.
Drifting doesn't have anyone that can really advocate for it. Like I said, we kind of just take what we can get. That's why, like, when we talk about Penticton, the first time I went to Penticton, I was never like, whoa, whatever, this track is subpar. I was just like, holy shit, we can do all this here and nobody cares. Like, that's how I felt about it. It doesn't feel like, for as long as I've been following drifting and around that scene, at least in Canada, I don't know if we've made any real progress aside from Spec D has like kind of built a business around it. But other than that, like, it just doesn't feel like
Cap D ran events there for so long though. Like,
where?
At Western or whatever. Like it's actually gone, but like they were definitely doing it.
I was going to ask,
but now what happens? Can they? And that is the question. Can they move that into a new track? Is that business model going to work for them?
Yeah,
and I don't really know if it will.
One thing I was going to ask you guys is, what happened to Park? Park is still there.
Park's still there. They're still doing karting. They're
just not drifting on it. And it was like a noise type thing, maybe?
It was a noise thing, yeah.
Okay,
Final boss.
Okay, I was gonna say, I thought I had something to say, but then that sort of was like against what I was gonna say. So, because I was gonna say, like, in Canada, it seems as though we have like more Karen-y type people, because there are a lot of tracks.
I think we have more like environmentally type people.
Yeah.
I mean, noise doesn't really go with the environment. They're just like fucking pissed off at the noise.
Yeah.
I mean, that was PGP though too. PGP was noise.
I think America's more. I think America's more NIMBYs than anything.
What the hell's a NIMBY?
Not in my backyard. Not in my backyard. Okay. And then, because it's like, they like automotive culture, just maybe not when it's like disturbing them. And then I do think,
land.
And I think Canada, the issue is a lot of our tracks end up being in places that could be, the real estate becomes valuable at some point. It kind of feels like
it's weird because like we can literally drive like anywhere. Like, to drive 3 or 4 hours to a track is nothing.
Sure. Yeah, like, where's anywhere?
But then I guess the track technically has to be near enough to something that there is, unless it's like a fully self-supporting track, which, I mean, that would cost bazillions of dollars. But I'm just saying, yeah, some sort of semblance of a track would have to be close enough to some sort of semblance of town to support said track, which I guess then it's like, oh, hey, we want this track here. It's going to bring people to our town. And it's like, oh, like, wait a second. It's a bit loud.
So it's to go like wherever has like the least regulations.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, what you just described is like Spirit Peaks, though.
And so it's in the middle of nowhere?
It's kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Isn't Realms in the middle of nowhere too?
Yeah, Realms is pretty, like, Realms is beside airport, like on the same, like, air, like land as a gun, right? So, like, it kind of makes sense. It's like, can't really complain about the noise.
Kind of like Agassi.
Cell Block D.
Oh, yeah, Turtle. Nobody wants to go there. That place sucks.
Yeah. I went once, and that was good enough.
No good. I didn't crash there, but yeah, like, woohoo. You get to drift a 1/4 mile oval with, like, shitty surface. And, like, the bank's pretty wild there, though. It's cool drifting, but, like, that bank is, like, woo. It's like a wall ride almost. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, drifting a bank is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's Saratoga on the island still. That's a crazy bank.
Is it also a 1/4 mile oval?
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't have an inner wall. I feel like it was better than Agassi.
Because you've been to all the tracks, eh?
It has that crazy bank, and it feels so crazy.
So you've been to, where is Saratoga?
It's like Courtney Comox.
Okay. Do you think that will take over for anything, or is it just like not?
Nope.
I don't really think so, no. Maybe. I don't know. I don't really think so, though.
I mean, if it hasn't been popular in the past, it's probably not going to get super popular in the future.
Right.
But maybe now it's the only option, so, you know.
Isn't that the one where you have to take a ferry on a ferry and a ferry?
No, it's just like north of Nanaimo by an hour, maybe. You can take a ferry to Nanaimo.
Oh, but the Americans have to take a ferry there rather than come all the way up and take a ferry back down. No, what I mean is, like, it's quicker for them to take, like, they can just go from the States to Saratoga instead of coming up and then going around or some shit. I don't know. I just thought Saratoga was some weird.
No, it's just like, on the island.
Okay.
You can take a ferry to Victoria if that's what you're talking about. I don't know.
Shut the fuck up.
The Americans can do that. Their ferry looks way different than our ferry. Anyway,
what does it look like?
Yeah, tell me more about their ferry.
It looks like an actual boat, like an old timey boat, and then you like the front opens up.
So we get the cool, like,
we get like, yeah, like the actual ferry, and they get what looks like the Titanic style boat. Yeah. Okay. So, do you think that there will be? I mean, it's really hard. Like, I don't think we have any business really answering this question, like what the future of drifting looks like on the island. But chances of them getting something or building a track, I have yet to see drifting. I guess maybe Villains is the best example of a track, like putting it together, funding the thing and building it. Are there any other examples?
I mean, Villains is, pretty much like the only, in my opinion, self-made track. And I mean, you guys have been there. Yeah. Is it pretty sick?
I mean, they're also piggybacking off the fact that there's like a drag strip and all that other stuff there. But like that, I don't want to like poo-poo on them at all. Like the amount of work that they put in there is crazy, and like it is a super sick track, and I like absolutely love going there. Like, and then like when I went to Spirit Peaks, it was like, man, they like don't even have a hose here, you know, like you gotta like bring all your own water. And like at Spirit Peak, or at Villains, it's like you're going to the concession and like you can get like a decent breakfast sandwich or whatever, you know, like, so like it's a pretty drastic difference in like the level of amenities, if you will. But then you go to US Air and it's like even it's like 10 steps above that, you know? It's like,
yeah.
It's like, it feels like some world class level shit, you know?
Yeah, it really is like a unique fucking place and experience. And it doesn't seem that far from like other cool shit too. Like it's cool that like when you go to US Air, it's like, yeah, there's just all that whole town is like Shawano or whatever. It's Shawano.
Yeah.
Like that Mexican restaurant we went there too. It's like, it's not amazing, but it's like kind of sick. You get those crazy big drinks and stuff. And it's like cool to have that near your track, you know?
I think that feels like one of the rare occasions where everybody kind of gets it. Like final bout comes, like the drift community there seems very respectful. The Club FR people come in, they do a good job. Everyone's pretty like chill. And I think the town kind of likes it. I know the businesses around there probably really appreciate it. And then like you have final bout, which draws a big crowd. I feel like that is your like optimal level of what you get community wise. Spirit Peaks, like honestly, I didn't hate it. I kind of like going to Spirit Peaks.
Man, I had a great time.
Yeah,
I would 100% go back.
Yeah, so I thought that like the track looks pretty cool in pictures. I thought from what I've only posted 2, but from what I actually took and like filmed, I was like, oh, it actually looks like kind of interesting. Yeah, it's not great for like amenities, like not having running water, or you only have porta potties and all that.
And not running water is wild. Like,
yeah, it's super wild, but that's kind of what I'm saying is like drifters always kind of are like getting by on scraps, and so
scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
I mean that's literally what drifting is, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at the beginning, like you know what I mean?
It still is like
it's like you're trying to climb this giant.
It's not though. Like
ladder.
Now there's like a complete other level of drifting. That's like the final bout style drifting. That's like you're definitely not scraping the bottom of the barrel. You know?
No,
what I mean?
No. I don't agree with it that it's scraping the bottom of the barrel. I'm saying that a lot of times, more often than not, drifters are used to like making do with what they can get to drive on.
Yeah.
You know, like that's kind, and I think that like the final bout scene has been pretty good at acquiring good locations to drive, and that is all great. But that's not us. You know, that's not the island. That's not us losing Penticton. It's like, Kevin, you talk about your first drift event being an airport.
Yeah.
Boundary Bay Airport,
Boundary Bay, man.
To the boundary of the bay.
I went to a kart track in like outside of Fort Capel in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, that sounds sick.
No, outside of Lumsden. Outside of Lumsden, I went to a kart track.
Lumsden?
Yeah, and it was sick until they got mad at us. But it was always like whatever you could get. And then even in that situation, like when we lost that track, the people that we were working with, they were the autocrossers.
Yeah.
Had no interest in acquiring like places for us to drift. Like when they were like,
did you lose it for them?
I don't think so. I think there was just like a lot going on.
Think so.
There's a lot of animosity there.
That's a long
some girls
tail.
Involved. Yeah,
So
I mean, for example, PGP, like the amenities were like fairly nice. Like the pits were dope. I don't know, everything seemed really nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was also like brand new when we were there, which obviously helps. But yeah, it was, it was like a nice new facility. Like,
yeah, it's cool when you get like, I mean, that's the thing is it feels like what you're saying, like, yeah, it feels like drifting is the like lowest tier of motorsports. Yeah, it does seem like drifting is the lowest form of motorsports, and I think previously it was probably like fucking autocross or something. Like autocross, I feel like autocross and like the type of people like drifting.
Wieners, go on.
Yeah, autocross are wieners. They're geeks. You know what I mean? And then drifters are like a combination of like crazy fucking dudes, like shithead skater guys that like just don't shower and stuff, and then like
drifters are like snowboarders in the 80s.
Yeah, like really intense.
It's just like people are just like, what is this? No, I don't like it. You're new.
We're the most offensive of all motorsports.
And it's funny. Yeah, it's the most offensive. It's the most like testosterone fueled. It's like everyone's trying to.
I don't know if it's most testosterone fuel. I think all
it
racing
totally is, man.
You think? Okay, I don't.
Yeah,
I
fully think all racing is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just think we're the most offensive. I also think that like the level of camaraderie is probably higher.
Oh yeah,
way higher,
for sure, 100%. Offensive. That's like we should make a shirt about that. Like drifting is offensive. Like
it is offensive. Like describing it to people, them watching it, it's clearly the thing that like grinds people's gears.
It's totally funny too because it's literally like what you're doing to drift the car is ruining the car. You know what I mean? It's like you're ruining the tires, you're ruining the clutch, you're ruining like the drivetrain, you're fucking definitely ruining the body panel that you just fucking painted, the bumper you just painted. It's like drifting is totally like the anti-racing motorsport. Like there's no other way about like it's the fucking worst.
You're not wrong.
It's counter. One of the reasons
counterculture, bro.
I was going to say it's counterintuitive for me. When I tried to drift, everything felt very counterintuitive.
Yeah, it's a very.
It's like I want you to rev your engine to like 6,000 RPM or
no,
whatever,
you just bounce it off the rev limiter and then you and then just drop the clutch,
start kicking your clutch. And like I remember, like
that's why you need a Toyota.
I couldn't unlearn easing off the clutch, and they're like, "No, you have to literally like they call it a clutch kick. Kick it again." I'm like, "Oh my god, this feels so wrong." Like I don't know. It is. It's all of those things, but it is. It's the most offensive. It makes apparently the most. I don't even think it makes the most noise, but maybe it does. I mean,
it definitely does. Like no other fucking racing has just constant tire squealing the entire fucking event. Like it's obnoxious. It's the most obnoxious form of like motorsports. Except maybe except when you get into like, you know, like sand drag, you know, or like Lima fucking hill climb twin turbo, you know, 3,000 horsepower fucking Nissan Patrols climbing up a 40-degree fucking mountain. You know what I mean? That's like in a whole different league.
Yeah. So, and I think, but for all the reasons we described, I feel like that is the struggle. And then it's hard to convey, to get anyone to buy into it. Like, and, you know, it's funny to look back that I feel like I've been into drifting for well over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And I think cars have gotten better, the skill set's gotten better, but in Canada, I don't think that the resources, like the tracks, have gotten better. It's still always like the track will do something for someone else, and then maybe they'll consider drifting. You know, I went to the initial meetings in Regina, Saskatchewan, about when they were like, "Hey, you want us to pave the infield of an oval so you can drift on it?" They're like, "Yeah, I mean, you're young and resourceful. If you can find us the money to do it, we'll do it. But you got to pay for us to pave the entire track again, like do the oval." And I was like, you weren't even like, it wasn't even a question. It's like, if you get us the money, we're going to spend it on our shit first, and then maybe we'll give you your shit. You know, and like every instance I've heard of someone building a track is always pipe dreams, or you have to do the work for the other people who are like doing air quotes of like the legitimate racers. They're just like, "Oh, you young whippersnappers, will go get us our money, and then we'll get a new timing system for our race."
Drag track. Well, I mean, one thing I was going to say too is like that whole thing of where I said these like actually, you know, like the majority of the drift guys can't even figure out fucking zip ties, let alone like logistics of trying to organize, you know, fundraising and fucking, you know, money, anything, right? But it's like maybe if the majority of drifters didn't like, okay, final bout, it's like the cars look nice. The people are probably on their second or third cars, so they're like, they care about the shit. They're probably relatively good drivers. They're, you know what I mean? Like, they're probably all have like decent ass careers at that point to have, you know, to be in that fucking realm. So like, that's the type of drift people and drift crowd that could probably come together to build or, you know, bring a track into fruition, or even just get drifting to happen on a track. Whereas like all the, like, let's call them skids or dudes with like fucking stock painted wheels on their 240s, they're all complaining about the tracks, but they're not going to do anything about it. And even if they were going to do anything about it, they don't have any money or pull or connections or anything to do it. They're literally just like kids with fucked up cars making a bunch of noise. So like, I
partly agree with you, but
I sound like a hater.
I partly disagree. I think that the final bout crowd, because I've listened to a few podcasts here or there, and to hear like Simba talk about stuff, and it's my understanding that they did have to go through like a few different spots, and I think that what you're looking at, especially in Illinois and Wisconsin, is a symbiotic relationship between a town and race car drivers that kind of get it. They get that those people will come to town and spend money. They will throw a giant event that brings in a lot of spectators, and that, you know, like they get the tourist attraction of it. Like, I bet you more drifters that like cool drift cars know what Shawano, Wisconsin is than like just the regular fucking average Joe. Like, I think it's almost kind of an anomaly.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah, no, I get what you're saying for sure.
I don't think that, like, even if you brought all of them together, I think if you put those guys in a room, even though they have like proper careers, that they could get a racetrack built. Because it's not even like racetracks are being built for the very well off. Like racetracks are fuck you money at this point. They're not just like, I'm really passionate about this thing and I like,
it's slowly getting there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like, and you got to think, like I often think, and maybe you have some insight, how much would it have been to build a racetrack back in the day? And why did they build so many of them? And then what changed? Did
you read that article on Western?
No.
Oh, he was just like, yo, like I want to build a track. So he did. And this was way back in the day, like the 30s. And he's like, he just wanted to have this sick track. So he just built this track before like you needed like permits and all this other shit. And then so he went around and like looked at other cool racetracks around like the country or like the US and stuff. And then just like built this track. And then, but I mean, they had racing. Like you have to have racing on a racetrack. And I mean, that's the thing. It's like drifting maybe just doesn't pull in a bunch of money, man.
It could though. Drifting
it definitely
labeled.
Like,
when I was in university, drifting was labeled the fastest growing motorsport in the world.
It's still, I mean, I don't know if it is now, but yeah, I mean, it was. That's the thing is Formula D, as much as like we all want to say like, oh, like America ruined drifting and stuff. It's like, well, I mean, America fucking capitalized on drifting. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they're bringing in giant ass crowds and like bringing in like legit corporate, like they bring in Ford sponsored drifting. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
And like people can hate all they want on like people like, you know, whatever, Vaughn and LZ and Chelsea and I don't know, anybody else that has some like.
I like that you just picked the Ford team. Now we're a Ford.
Well, no, that's because they're sponsored by Ford. But I'm just saying like I was just going to say like other big name corporate sponsors. But like, I mean, how else are you going to fucking, you know, have a career doing this thing you love, except be at the highest level with like the people with the most money? That's just how it is. You know what I mean?
Sorry, going back to it. What I always kind of wonder though is like, there's a racetrack in Regina, Saskatchewan that got built. Like there's this oval track. There's one in Penticton that got built. There's one, you know, like, and I mean, wonder,
I don't know, maybe we're 10 years out away from all these drift tracks being built by dudes who love drifting.
I mean, maybe that's. You know what would be really funny is that
it would be really sick
Utah...
if SerialNine built a drift track or a track.
Yeah, that'd be great. But I was going to say, wouldn't it be really funny if it was all the YouTube money that built racetracks? Like all of the things that.
I mean, that's the most realistic.
I mean, fucking Adam LZ has a track at his house.
Yeah, basically.
Fucking done.
What if it is that? Like, what if that? Like, the thing that everyone bitches about the most is the actual like savior of drifting.
I mean, that's fine by me. I don't give a shit. I just want to drift at the track. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Me too.
So overall, what do you think will happen on the island? If you were just to like take a guess.
I don't feel like I'm close enough to that scene to make a.
Yeah, I mean, there were some high level people talking about something in the works, but like, I mean, it could have just been like one dude spreading a rumor, and then it sort of snowballed into this thing where like now all these people are talking about a new track, and it's like, I'll fucking believe it when I see it, man.
Yeah, when I'm on it, I'll be stoked.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be fucking on it. That is how I feel about a lot of this stuff. Is like, there was, since I've left Saskatchewan, there was the longest thing. There was like, oh, this dude's building a track. He's building a track. It's paved. And people were like, or not paved. It's like, like it's laid out and it's going to be this crazy thing. And I remember like, I was like, oh, fuck, I just moved away from there and they're going to build like this legit track.
And that track's still not done.
And it's still not done. But people were posting like Google image views. And it's like, then there's always a story. Oh, the investors pulled out. The economy took a downturn. Because they realized that like to pave a track is fucking like millions of dollars.
Bazillions of dollars.
But it's no wonder that all this shit just goes to the rich, all these like fucking.
So the moral of the story is basically get fucking rich. And I'll be like, oh, I'm going to take my V10 BMW wagon that I built road racing on your Area 51 track. Oops, I went sideways. You know what I mean? It's like, I got so much money. They're probably like, I mean, he's a bit of a wild card, but like, he's got a membership and like his car's
for one of the condos.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
you're not going to say
he gives us 10 grand a year.
It's more than 10 grand a year. He bought a condo.
No, I meant like on top of the,
throw money at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's basically what you need to do.
They have allowed drifting on some of those tracks, right?
Yeah,
I heard.
I feel like maybe if it's like an exhibition type thing.
Yeah, like end of the day.
It's like, okay, like you're like a professional drifter.
Yeah, exactly.
Driving like some professional ass car.
Like Brody did it, didn't he?
Yeah, it's like Brody,
that makes sense.
Fournier, like people like that are going to be like quote unquote drifting on. Yeah, because 48 did test runs on one of those tracks. And he's like, yo, this is sick. I'm excited for this shit. Like,
yeah, that was Mission.
No. Was it? Yeah, there was another one. He drifted on like a road course.
Here's the thing. I will say wishful thinking and hope for the best. I hope that because like the island is its own fucking world, and I wouldn't want them to lose what they have because it's fucking confusing to me, but I love it. And I hope that they figure it out. But like, it's also I wouldn't hold my breath on it. That's how I feel, Cole Chalmers. That's my answer to your question. God damn it. I hope they do it for all the right reasons, but man, the odds are stacked against them. Hey, look, we got like 8 minutes. We can talk about food if you want.
That feels so hurtful.
We have 8 minutes? Why do we have 8 minutes?
No, I just made that up. I thought it'd be funny.
Oh. We could talk about food. Okay.
We can talk about anything else. I don't know if you want to do a full food episode at one point.
I think it's probably best to do a full food episode at one point.
I know.
Yeah, you have to do it.
It's going to be good.
I'll do it. I'm sure it will. Tricky business.
Why is that, buddy? Why is that?
Well, I'll save it for the food episode. Yeah. All right. What else do you think? Like,
Well,
if
we only got 8 minutes, we could just call it.
We don't have 8 minutes. I fucking made that up to be funny.
Okay, one thing I was gonna say, kind of related to the earlier sort of question / whatever, is even in the JDM world, the cheapest cars that you can buy that are driftable are BMWs.
I know, but they're not.
When you see cars with 1s and 2s as the first digit, you know what I mean? And it's only 4 digits long. It consistently like under $4,000 for like any of them. It's hard to argue with that, man. And they are fucking good ass cars. It's like you're going to spend $10,000 on a fucking stock automatic, no handbrake chaser, or $3,000 on a fucking 3-liter manual fucking 3 Series Beamer.
No, I'm going to spend $11,000 on a sick 3rd gen GS.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Right? It's like what? Like,
I don't want to. I want to like the thing, though. You know, like I want the fucking meme. I want to like the thing that I walk away from.
Yeah.
You know, you want to turn back, and I don't. And maybe you're right. I haven't seen any BMWs that like are done properly, but the sample size of BMWs out there, it's not like it's a small number. It's a fucking wide ass number.
Yeah, but every BMW you've probably seen. I mean, like out of the let's call it not per capita, but the percentage of BMWs that you see that are nice compared to the BMWs you see that are quote unquote modified, it's fucking like 2% maybe of nice to shit. Like 98% of the BMWs are shit.
But I think that most cars are shit, and then there's only like.
But that's what I mean. Okay, if you look at fucking JZX 100s, it's a perfect example. Like it's easily a 50-50 ratio, at least, of nice cars to shit cars.
That's a very good ratio, then, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a good ratio. But I'm saying obviously you're gonna like that car more because you're like bombarded with fucking dope examples of them. It's probably almost the other way around. You could be 80% nice JZX 100s and 20%, like probably 10% mediocre and 10% shit.
You know, I don't,
tell me.
Do I love a lot of JZX 100s?
I mean, you got to love something because you're not going to be like, oh, I love all those fucking 161s. It's like there's fucking 8 in the whole world. Like 5 of them.
I love her, man. No, I like Carter's 100 a lot. I think my issue is like personal bias creeps in to a lot of the things that I like.
Yeah, and none of us have BMWs, so like.
Yeah, but I don't. Even if Gerard, you do have a BMW.
But it's
you do
technically, yeah, but it's not like
technically you have it and you drive it around.
No, I don't.
Well, you could. Why don't you?
Gonna. It's not past inspection yet. I have to.
Because it's a BMW.
Yeah, I have to like do all this shit.
Horse shit turn signals on it.
You don't use them anyway. It's a BMW.
Yeah, you don't need that shit. There's BMWs at Final Boat. Yeah.
Like probably 3.
There's a BMW at the Final Boat we were at, but yeah, for sure.
It's a different style of like to execute a BMW in like the typical JDM fashion. Like I literally posted it on my story yesterday. It was like the most simple JZX 100. It just was like low, wide on cool wheels, and it was good enough. It was like that car
good enough.
That car in its like most basic state is better than fucking 80% of the JZX 100s you see, or like it's in the top like 20%, and it's just nothing special about it. But like it just works. But like if you execute, like honestly, the coolest BMWs, man, are the like static fucking fucked up ones. They look fully sick, and that's the same goes for Infinities. Like if you want to see a dope Q35, look at some clapped out shitty one that's dragging on the ground with like a guy standing on the fucking hood. Like those ones all just look so sick. Same with the BMWs. You're like, that's a BMW. Like how can it look so good? Because
it's like every car though.
But I mean, not really, because like
you dump it on its guts, bro.
No, I know that's
sick,
right? But then the problem with BMWs too is you have those people like the percentage of people is more varied than like the JZX or like Toyota people. So like you get the BMW,
that's true.
You get the BMW people that are like, I don't want to lower it too much. You know, like they got the like specific wheels for that shit. So like those are all out of the question because they're fucking garbage. You get the shitty like drift skid kids that like don't give a shit what it looks like. It's a BMW and it drifts. So like those guys are all out of the question. And then you get like the quote unquote stance guys that like have like Varstones and like, you know, ESRs and shit. And like their cars are kind of low, but like they look hurting. So those guys are all out of the question. And then you maybe get like fucking 10 guys that like want their BMW to look like a JZX or like I don't know, insert really fucking sick Japanese car here. And then
but don't you just prefer the really sick Japanese car?
I think that formula can be applied to any car in my world. I don't really care what kind of car it is.
You know what this reminds me of? The fucking time we talked about Preludes and how I hate all Preludes.
But Preludes could easily be very sick.
No, I disagree.
You're wrong.
Because my answer is always so. And people have sent me like cool looking Preludes. I'm like, and my answer is always like, yeah, but now imagine if that was a rear wheel drive. Like,
yeah, but that's the thing is maybe you just don't appreciate the car for what it is. You're trying to like change the car into something that it never can be.
Yeah, man, I can change her. You know,
right?
Yeah. I can change him.
BMW is a BMW.
Yeah, I can
make it the sickest
him.
BMW it can be. You know what I mean? Same
I
with the Civic.
don't know why I get shit on for liking what I like. I'm just a guy who knows what he likes.
You just seem a lot of quite close-minded. Is kind of probably
why is it close-minded to know what you like? I don't care if other people like it. I just know what I like. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, no, it's like
there's nothing
people shit on me for being like, oh, you like fucking pretentious beer. I just like things that I think taste good. I'm not going to drink shitty beer just to appease other people. I don't need to like a Prelude because it's kind of a shitty chassis. It's got a cool engine in it.
That's like the wheel question. It's like you don't have to buy the thing, but you could be like, hey, Preludes can look sick. Like, I mean, Kevin, like when they first came out, you thought they looked dope, but it's like, yeah, unfortunately it's front wheel drive. So like, you're never going to own one, but like the shape is cool to look at. And like,
I can appreciate exactly.
That's a lovely thing.
I don't think I can appreciate like maybe the third gen. You know, when it had the super handling all wheel drive. That's when it looked like an Accord back then.
The long nose with the weird like triangle taillights.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like
no. I think that one was kind of cool. That one had to like look like they had like a little super wing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was the generation before that. That looked like an Accord. You know.
Oh, those ones are tight. What are you talking about?
I don't think so. Anyway.
Here's the thing.
I mean, I'm from Surrey, so Preludes are like in my blood, so whatever.
Yeah, it's
like literally like the first, like not the first gen, but like the second gen Prelude. When I was young, like you just see those things like on chopped springs and like loud and like I don't know, they had like some sort of other Accord or something Honda wheels on them, and they just look so fucking sick. Anyway,
but the thing is given a chance like to have a Honda, the Prelude isn't even on my radar of Hondas that I would want to own. Like it's nowhere near any of the Hondas that are. So it's not even like, oh, you don't appreciate enough things. Like I like Hondas. I just don't give a shit about Preludes.
Well, there you go. Like, you hate Preludes. It's all good.
Yeah, like I just don't. Like if I gave you the option of a Prelude or a Civic, would you take a Civic or a Prelude?
Depends on the Civic rather than the Prelude.
What's the breaking point? If you could have any Civic or
if you're gonna
Prelude,
give me
what would you take?
fucking CX bullshit and like I can't really do anything with it, or you're gonna give me like a Prelude SH like fully loaded, like nice condition, I'll take the Prelude. Like I like Civics and stuff, but like they are shit cars.
Couldn't you do anything with the EK-CX?
Of course, you can fucking change every possible part and dump a bunch of goddamn money into it, and at the end of the day, it's still a fucking Civic.
Isn't that what you do? Isn't that what you do?
I literally did that. I literally did that. And it was like, oh, I'm so cool. Look at me beat Vipers in my Civic. And it's like at the end of the day, I'm driving home. The shit's still front wheel drive and has fucking like no like automatic climate controls or like, you know, like power windows.
Prelude?
Yeah.
What about the Prelude?
It's got all that shit.
So you're taking
nice
the Prelude.
car.
You're taking the Prelude over a hatch?
I mean, it depends. I'm just saying, if you gave me a certain budget, like obviously, if you could like change everything about this EK hatch, then it's going to be cool in the end. But like, if you had,
what would you do? What's the budget to get you out of a Prelude into like? If I
if you couldn't change the engine, I'm not driving a fucking CX Civic. I'm sorry,
but you can change the engine because you're Gerard. If you have we'll say around the same budget that you have for the Blit, like within reason,
like $30K.
Yeah, okay. You're gonna build this a Honda for $30K. What are you getting?
I'm not getting a Prelude or a Civic, to be honest.
What are you getting?
I'm probably gonna get an Odyssey Absolute.
All right. Well, that's an answer. Kevin, I feel like you don't feel as strongly about Preludes, and I don't need to prove this point, but
I said, like with Gerard, I could appreciate Prelude,
Yeah, I just feel like if a thing is like your fourth option or you can't remember the name of it, you don't actually care that much about it.
See, there's a thing too, Ryan, where it's like, okay, so like you see Preludes like all the time. I guess for me, the attraction of a Prelude is that like it's a car
like you don't see Preludes all the time.
Well, no, what I meant was like, yeah, when you see Preludes, they're nothing special. There's nothing special about Preludes. I can guarantee you, in the entire world, there are maybe 10 Preludes that are worth even looking at. Like, they're just average. You know what I mean?
I could get on board with that. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But for me, as a car builder, I can see what I would do with a Prelude, and it would be very unique compared to what I would do with a Civic, because the Civic's a more popular platform. And instead of 10 nice Civics instead of 10 nice Preludes in the entire world, there's probably like 10,000 nice Civics.
Yeah.
Right. So for you to like build something cool and unique with a Civic, it's a lot harder, and it takes a lot more just you got to buy more shit. You got to like be more creative. You got to like spend way more money. And like, whereas with a Prelude, you could probably spend less money.
You got to be a real avant-garde and then still try to explain it to people.
Like, it would be really sick.
And try to explain it to people. I like.
And you could make it rear-wheel drive, and then it'd be cool.
Whatever.
Like, what if you made a Prelude rear-wheel drive?
Well,
totally stands.
I'm about to give my example of a thing. I don't know if this will work for you, but hey, Gerard, what's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie?
Yeah.
That's a good example for Gerard.
I haven't even seen them.
I haven't even seen a movie.
I've never seen a movie.
A YouTube video with me in it. No,
I just haven't watched movies in so long. I couldn't tell you, man. I'm sorry.
You watched? God damn it, Kevin! What's your favorite movie?
The Devil Wears Prada.
How many times have you
just
seen that
Googled
movie?
that right now? You just Googled that right now.
0 times.
It's a good ass movie, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Gerard, is that your favorite movie?
No, it's not my favorite good movie.
Well, you haven't given me another movie, and you said that's a good ass movie. Anyway, the point here is often when you ask someone what their favorite movie is, they have a lot of people will answer with like this movie of like blah blah blah, like, oh, I love
Pulp Fiction.
Be like, cool. But then when you keep talking to them, they're like, what's a movie that you have to watch every time it's on? And they'll be like, Shawshank Redemption. I can watch Shawshank Redemption. I can come, like, no matter where that movie is, beginning, middle, end, I can just watch that.
It's pretty slow. Like, some parts of Shawshank are quite slow.
All right.
It's a long movie. Yeah. It's a good movie.
Okay.
It's good, but it's like...
So...
if we're talking
I'm not talking about movies with you.
No, if you're talking about that type of thing,
why aren't you?
I'm going to probably say forgetting Sarah Marshall.
All right. And that's fine. Is that your favorite movie then?
No, but if it's on, like what you said, if it's on, doesn't matter where in the fucking movie that I'm watching that movie.
I think the movie that you watch more often than not is your favorite movie. I think the answer that people give is an image that they're trying to project about themselves. As somebody who went to film school and sat in classes where people would have to be like, what's your favorite movie? And give like pretentious fucking answers to questions. And then it'd be like, how many times have you watched that movie? It's like, hey, I really like the movie Interstellar.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I've watched it one time. It'd be fucking bullshit. Like, and when I watched it, I was mesmerized by it. But now if I went and told someone like that's my favorite movie, that's kind of bullshit. Because like even from that like director, I know the movie that I watch over and over again to like comfort me when I'm sick, or you know, like the thing that I can just like jump in on. That's the movie that
Forgetting
is my
Sarah
favorite
Marshall.
movie. Yeah, Forgetting Sarah Marshall is probably your favorite movie, but through that lens, you got to give like the fucking bullshit answer that makes you seem like a lot cooler. It's Pulp Fiction. Yeah, but if like Pulp Fiction was on one channel and Forgetting Sarah Marshall was on another channel,
100%
you would probably
Sarah
watch.
Marshall.
Yeah,
100%.
So that's your favorite movie. So that's like kind of how I feel about The Prelude. It's like, yeah, I get it. It's a car and I like cars and there's probably a redeeming feature. But like, if that car is like number 28 on my list of cars to build, I don't fucking like that car. Like they're, you know, like the car, that's how I feel about it. So when I draw that line, it's not because it's like, oh, I don't like appreciate the curves of a car. It's because it's like, it's not even on my radar of a thing to give a shit about. If I were to make you a list of cars that I would rather have before The Prelude, I get there's redeeming qualities about it.
So what you're saying, The Prelude is Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And that's
probably
a compliment. That's a huge compliment.
Okay, so what's the Civic? Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
That's your favorite. It's Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
It's whatever you want it to be.
It's whatever you want it to be. For me,
That's,
it's The Life
funny
Aquatic.
That we talk about movies this way too. It's because like whenever I try to watch like a movie with my wife, like I hate having to be on like, you know, like drama movies and like all this other shit. I just like watching movies. I fully just like rom-com. Like it's funny. It's kind of cute. It's not very serious. I don't have to fucking pay attention. There's some like attractive people in it. And that's it. Like that for me, that's what I'm fucking doing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of movies are just so difficult to watch. But they're good. You know what I mean? But it's like
that's how I feel about The Prelude. It's probably
you're
good,
saying it's
but
good. You're saying
it's good, but it's fucking difficult to watch.
There you go. That makes sense. Yeah. Makes fucking sense.
I got it. We all got it.
Yeah.
Kevin, what is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie. It feels like I don't know. It's
The Life of Garfield.
The Life of Garfield? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even know if that's a movie.
I love when Gerard makes up movie title.
Wasn't it like The Life of Toto?
A cat?
It was like The Life of Toto before.
Toto Mile.
Toto's
Mile. Which was he took the dog from Wizard of Oz in Green Mile and made a movie.
The Life of Toto's Mile. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like Cool Runnings. I'll say Cool Runnings is my favorite.
Really? Movie. Is that the one that you go back to a lot?
Oh, dude, yeah, I've seen that movie so many times.
Like
I could probably do
Doug?
I could probably do every line in that movie. I've had the soundtrack
Cool
to
Runnings.
that movie.
Who's that with?
It's the Jamaican bobsled team.
Oh, I've never seen
John Candy.
John Candy's in it, yeah.
Never seen
Dougie Doug, who was later on not the original Cosby Show, but the like follow-up Cosby Show, and from the movie That Darn Cat.
You know what other?
Why does my brain work?
Bring it up, Brian. Bring it up on the screen.
Yeah, That Darn Cat.
Have you seen the War with Grandpa or something like that? Or
yes, I've
Bad Grandpas. It's the one with there's the grandpa.
There's
and there's the younger
war.
dude.
There's the war. That's the one where De Niro and his grandkid.
And his kid. No, it's the other one where there's like
Bad Grandpa is
that attractive guy or whatever. Is the younger guy. Fuck, what's his name?
Is it Johnny Knoxville?
No, Zac Efron. Efron, and then that one's good, man. Zac Efron and like the grandpa or the dad or whatever.
It's Johnny Knoxville. Bad Grandpas is Johnny Knoxville dressed up as a bad.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. It's one with Zac Efron
I like that you refer to him as the good-looking guy.
Well, I mean, he's like the quintessential Ken doll guy. You know what I mean?
Well, he isn't because Ryan Gosling is playing Ken in the Barbie movie.
Okay, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like he's he's that stereotypical like attractive guy.
Did we just start a movie podcast? I would love to do a movie podcast with Gerard. Dirty Grandpa with De Niro and Zac Efron is what you're thinking.
Yes, that's a good movie. It's fucking hilarious.
That's a good movie. All right.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
What I miss is watching
it has a
B horror movies.
It has a 10% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, but you heard it here first. Gerard gave it a good review.
But I mean, I did say that I like all those kind of shitty rom-com, hilarious, like not pay attention.
What's your favorite rom-com? Is it still Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Just told you, yeah. I mean,
all right.
I know there's probably tons of them, but I definitely like Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
All right.
Okay. And I mean, what's her name's in it?
So Forgetting Sarah Marshall's a good movie.
Yeah,
it is.
It's got like I like what's his name? I can't remember. My mind is so.
Rowan Atkinson.
No.
Jason Segel.
No, fucking.
Oh, you like the British guy, of course.
Yeah, that's why I said Rowan Atkinson.
That's not Rowan.
It's Russell something.
Yeah, Russell Brand. Russell
yeah.
Brand's dope, and
you like Russell Brand?
Yeah, he's cool, man. And in that movie, he's hilarious.
He's like a cool man, dude.
Do you listen to his podcast ever?
No, who listens to a podcast? You just listen to podcasts.
You're still looking at cars, aren't you?
And I've gotten on to like the crazy stuff. So 1976 BMW 3 Series. That's not a 3 Series. Okay, like the 3-liter coupe, 3 Series coupe, $211,000. Like a vintage 3 Series coupe. I'm gonna start looking at Porsches now again. So.
What, is this what you do? All right.
It is.
All right.
On that note, I feel like I have to sober up a little bit and stop thinking about 3 GSs because now I'm fully on that train.
It's probably a good train to be on.
Get out of here, you temptress.
I'll give you the link. Just go to Be Forward and.
I figured because all of that's where I go when I look at things. What did we learn today?
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Yes, sure.
Lamborghini Gallardo.
Yeah.
$60K.
What are you doing with your life? Fucking watching Dirty Grandpa.
I feel like I don't know if that's what someone else was talking about, but
why wouldn't you buy a Gallardo off in Japan?
You gonna drift a Lamborghini?
No, just flip it.
I would prefer to watch you drive a Lamborghini around, Kevin. If you get a Lamborghini, promise me right now you'll drive it around.
For sure, I'm driving that shit around. There's no way I wouldn't drive that shit around.
Yeah, good. And
this one has work wheels on it.
With the windows up.
George, you're not going to get a Lambo, are you?
I mean, Gallardos, I think you can't really sell them because people are like, that's like the ultra peasant. You know what I mean? But,
are we about to be sponsored by Lamborghini?
You never know.
But you know what you do with a Gallardo? Twin turbo
it. Yeah.
Twin turbo.
Yeah. Speaking of investments, did you know that Lego that I gave Dominic for his birthday years ago has increased in value?
What? Yeah. Which one was that?
The F40.
Oh, yeah, he has that. Yeah. It's increased in value?
No way. I went to
they all do.
They all go, I'm trying to buy Speed Champion cards for June. And that
you have
car,
to buy them off eBay?
Yeah, they go up in value. That car was not $50 when I bought it, and now it is $50.
Oh, so on the weekend, I rolled fenders on a 360 Modena.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so it's this guy that we knew when he was younger. He was 20 years old. He was a punk, but he started a heavy machinery business. So now he's 30 and he's fucking loaded. And apparently what he did was just go during COVID, buy all these fucking cars that were just like, people were like, yo, fuck this. I don't need this car anymore because like I don't drive to work and shit. So he bought like a manual V8 Vantage, like some fucking weird ass spec M3. and like this 360 Modena off this like Hell's Angel guy for like dirt cheap, 150K or something. Learn how to do all the maintenance and stuff on it. And apparently it's up like 30 grand in value. And so, yeah, but also like the best part though, is he got fucking headers for it, like 200 cell cats and some Japanese exhaust called Kreisig or something. And dude, it fucking sounds insane. He's like, yeah, it's like the last of like the analog cars. You know, it's not manual, but it's got that tiny little shifter and it's like a single clutch and stuff. He started it up. It's so ungodly loud. And then obviously like in my neighborhood and shit, like we try to keep it down. But I was like, yo, man, when you do the 2 turns out of here, I want you to rip it so I can hear it. And like, he's like 100% sounds like an F1 car. It's fucking crazy. Yeah.
Do you like Ferraris?
Not particularly, but I mean, like, I could appreciate a fucking screaming V12.
How come car guys don't like Ferrari? Why is
they're kind of like pansy cars, in my opinion?
I think car guys like Ferraris. But
no, I've heard more and more. It's like if you have Lamborghini or Ferrari, it's like most people take the Lambo.
It's like more exciting. Like,
you're probably talking to guys that are like bigger douchebags than, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I like Ferraris.
Like Lambos are hella douchebag cars for sure.
I think people like the rebellious streak, but yeah, that's fair. Well, Gerard, you should buy this Lambo.
No, I'm not buying a Lambo.
Gerard, buy a Lambo.
No.
Be a man, buy a Lambo.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
But apparently you get a Cayenne for $6 grand landed. So that's kind of wild.
Cayenne, hey?
Yeah. Like fucking dirt cheap. $1,750 US for a Cayenne. That's fucking crazy, dude. Anyways.
Do you want one of those now?
No, I'm not particularly into Cayennes. I mean, they can look cool, but I don't know.
All
cool,
right.
Maybe.
I don't know if I have. I think that about. What did we learn today, you guys?
We learned
you know
Ryan should buy a 3GS.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Fucking sober Ryan. I'll have to think about that because drunk Ryan really loves it. I drank an 11% beer by accident and really got it going.
Slipped and fell into your mouth or what?
Yeah, it was delicious.
It slipped and fell into your mouth.
That was totally an accident.
Yeah. Bingo. I think these are my favorite episodes where we just don't talk about anything really, and then we end up talking about everything.
I wonder if other people agree with that.
We'll find out.
I feel like there's different tiers of things that
listeners.
Yeah. There's the Eric and Tysons of the world that just want to hear Gerard and Kevin talk about like the most technical of things. And then,
I don't know. It's just too much technical things.
Some people like really love this Scram episode because it's
the
like
what episode? Turbo?
Yeah, because it was like
I feel like that was my favorite one.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
Sorry.
And then
I'll just be in the corner now.
I think other people but then I talked to some people that are like, I didn't understand what was going on in that episode. And I was like, yeah, you and me both. I think there's just different tiers of what we get for listeners, and it's all great. I love that there's so many people from Australia that listen. You're gonna buy this Porsche Gerard for $17,000.
No, but it's crazy. It's a wide body, eh?
Yeah, it is. You could.
It has like works and shit.
Yeah, I mean, you could fool a lot of people with that car.
Yeah, I feel like that car could sell for a decent amount of money.
What are you fooling them into?
Buying it
like
for a lot of money.
No, that's the funny bit is like when I think that is you have that car and so all right, I know we should go, but I'll try to make this quick. I saw that BMW today in the parking lot and I was like, that's like a newer BMW on T37. So that's a thing that if you were to put the Aristo next to 9 out of 10 people or 10 out of 10 people would always choose the BMW. And I thought like the perception of a thing. And so Kevin, the perception, if you can tell people you drive a Porsche is what I was saying.
Yeah.
What I think is what I was getting at with that. It's like, and then when someone's like, oh, can you like show me a picture of your Porsche?
Yeah.
And 8 out of 10 people don't fucking know the difference between a Boxster and like a 911. And especially that one, you'd show it to them and be like, ooh, he drives a Porsche. And then it's just like you're fooling people on the image of what you have. Yeah. Anyway, that was my thought.
Faking the funk.
Faking the funk.
Yeah, it's funny too, because like I tell people I sold like this fucking car and they're like, oh, what year is it? I'm like, oh, 1997. They're like, how much did you sell it for? I'm like, I don't know, like 11, like whatever, like 15K. And they're like, why the fuck is a 97 anything worth like 15K? You know what I mean? It's like, it's just like perception of people don't really understand shit.
Which is, every day in my regular world is that thing. It's like explaining to people that I like cars and then showing them the car that I drive. And they're like, well, that's, like one person was like, oh, here's a picture of your daughter in your car. You do really like cars. I'm like, no, that's my daily and it's a Prius. Like I just didn't get it.
Jesus.
So, yeah. Anyway. All right, you guys.
All right, man. Well, it was good.
Good catching up. I'm glad we all had our own microphones this time. All right. Thanks for listening to the podcast, everyone. We appreciate the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Catch you on the flip side.
Bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Serial Podcast 9.